Testing this out is going to be difficult because we're talking differences in days. So what we're going to do is a little bit of trickery with TinyDB to try to store things. We can pretend that we've already put in information for yesterday. We can actually go to TinyDB and say store value, and we might say last day of activity, and I'm going to duplicate this, but I don't want today, I actually want yesterday. So in clock, there's some kind of cool blocks that you can use, and I'm going to say add to today. I'm going to add days, and I'm going to add a -1. And if I right click on this, I can say do it, and this will actually do it. So I've just stored a last day of activity, and hopefully I've stored yesterday. What we could do now is if I said get value, and just to see what I've stored, and let's do format, date time. And the instant I'm going to do is get the last day of activity, and if I don't have anything, but I will, it will be clocked now. So now if I do it, now you can see, and this is a neat trick, this do it, so you can do all sorts of things while you're connected. So I am still connected to the emulator, so that's still running. So my do it results comes up August 18th, and as you know, with the emulator that today that I'm recording this is August 19th. So it did store the correct information. So now, hopefully, if I go ahead and refresh my companion screen, it's going to, and I obviously went back to statistics and made that visible. So we want to turn that off. So today is August 19th, and if I say, okay, now let's say I walked or biked. If I hit submit, okay, so it added 1 to that, and because it was day 2, it said great start, keep up the good work. So that worked for forcing the issue that I have now 2 days in a row. Let me go back here to blocks, and let's see that value of days in a row. So it should say 2. And it does. So that's 2. And you can close these after by clicking on the little question mark. Now these are all just out here for my kind of debugging purposes here. It's not going to affect how the program runs, and I can get rid of them all after by dragging them into the trash bucket. Let's again do this. I'm going to store this again to kind of force. So we've got 2 days in a row. It thinks we have 2 days in a row, and it's saying the last day of activity. Now it will have updated it to today because I've stored that. So I'm going to go back and restore this and say do it. And let's just, to make sure, let's do this again to see. Okay, so it still thinks it was August 18th. So now it should actually think I've got 2 days, and now I'm logging in again, and it should hopefully pump me up to 3 days, and I'll get the 3 days in a row. So let's go ahead and connect, refresh. And so say I'm going to do, okay, I ate plant-based food instead of meat again. Hit submit. 3 days in a row. Way to go, keep going. So it did figure that out, and you can see my numbers are going up. It's storing that information and grabbing it back from TinyDB, and my 3 days in a row worked, and we could keep going. That was just to test that this works. These are a few little tools that you can use. You don't have to do all this, but it's worthwhile knowing about this do it block, so you can actually, force things like storing and getting things from TinyDB. You could set the value of a variable while you're running your program, but generally this will give you kind of a more advanced app that uses the clock to keep track of days. This is a good start for a tracking app, but I'd be excited to see what you can add to this to add more and make it more useful for people and more motivating. Go ahead and start adding your new features.